Let me say from the beginning that no, I'm not a Tennessee fan. I'm actually an Alabama fan. I'm just wearing this Tennessee jersey today. One of the reasons I started this channel on CatholicSolutions is to, in some way, give Catholics on YouTube answers to things they may run across on YouTube to try to help them to defend their faith. And let me make it clear from the beginning. First of all, I am no expert on the Catholic doctrines. I am not a apologist for the Catholic Church, but I consider myself to be an apologist in that I defend the Catholic Church. With that said, one of the things that I find is that while Catholics believe the teaching of the Catholic Church, many young Catholics do not know how to articulate the doctrines that we do have. For instance, like the Immaculate Conception of Mary, or even the Trinity, as far as that goes. And they run across people who tell them different things about the Immaculate Conception or the Trinity or different things. And I found out that there's some, but not all, some Catholics, even though they believe the dogmas of the Catholic Church and the teaching of the Catholic Church, sometimes fail in their attempt to define a particular doctrine. We are urged in the Catechism of the Catholic Church to not only know our faith, but to defend our faith. So what I've decided to do now with this channel on CatholicSolutions is to give those Catholics who really want to know and need some help how Catholic doctrines are proclaimed. In other words, where did they come from? How did we get to where we get on doctrines? For instance, the Immaculate Conception of Mary became dogma in 1854. But that doesn't mean that that's the only time the Catholic Church thought of it. It is something that always taught, and it just proclaimed as a dogma in 1854. It's much like the Trinity in 325, the Council of Nicaea. We didn't just come up with the Trinity then. It's something that the Catholic Church always taught. It's just that the deity of Jesus Christ had came into question, and Catholics felt that they needed to answer it. It was against a heresy. It was against wrong teachings by someone, and the Catholic Church felt that it needed to be defined for everyone. So it wasn't as though, well, let's just come up with the name Trinity. No, it is something that the Catholic Church always had always taught. It's kind of like the doctrines that are formally defined through doctrinal development, many times in the face of oppositions, are because of wrong teachings. But it is something that has been believed faithfully by the earliest church, by the early church fathers and early Catholics. So it's not something that just all of a sudden sprang up through doctrinal proclamation. Many times when our doctrines came under attack, it had to be clearly defined so people would know where they're coming from. The Immaculate Conception of Mary is one of those. So I'm going to start with the Immaculate Conception as I start on this series of different doctrines of the Catholic Church to show you where they come from and why they were developed, how they were developed. And in doing this, I hope that it will help Catholics to, if they will look at it, not to ask questions, to look at the things that I give you and to be able to defend your faith against things you see out on the internet or here on YouTube that gives you the opportunity then to defend your faith and to articulate your faith and define it so someone will know. Many times, all you run into is dishonest people who do not even study the doctrine of the Catholic Church. And to me, it is very intellectually dishonest to put out something Catholics believe without ever looking at the writings of the Catholic Church. For instance, like the Immaculate Conception. One of the first things I always see, well, that means that Mary's mother and daddy had to be without sin, her mother and daddy had to be without sin, and on and on and on. Which shows me that that person has never studied the doctrine of the Catholic Church at all. because the Immaculate Conception of Mary has nothing to do with her mother and father being sinless. It all has to do with Mary. That from the moment of conception, she was without the stain of original sin. But anyway, I'm going to begin this series on different Catholic doctrines to let you know how I see them as the Catholic Church has defined them, and the Doctrinal Proclamation, finally down to the Doctrinal Proclamation, that it became written in stone, so to speak, then. This is the dogma of the Catholic Church. This is what Christians have always taught, and or Catholics, at least Catholics anyway. And I hope it will help you some. And if you see something in the video that you don't understand, please ask. You know, if I don't know the answer, there's a lot of other Catholics that will be looking at these videos who will probably see your question and help me to help you. So this isn't so much that I know everything about the Catholic Church, but I do know more than a lot of people on YouTube about the Catholic Church because I studied it for so long now. And other Catholics, I urge you to chip in and say something on the videos when when I make these statements to help out. This is basically a help series to help those Catholics who maybe have never, who even though they believe the doctrines of the Catholic Church, believe the dogmas of the Catholic Church, don't know how to articulate them to others so they can explain them for others to understand. So as I begin this, Catholic, you be in prayer for me. And I will be giving citations where they're needed. A lot of this is my own work, things that I've arrived at my own. Now, Doctrinal Proclamation is something that I've thought of. A doctrinal development is something I thought of several years back. But I found out it's no new idea. It's something that's been out there for a long, long time. So it isn't something new that I came up with. Even though I thought about it, it's been out there for a long time. So it's nothing original when I say that. So I hope you'll enjoy this as I go. And if there's a particular doctrine you want me to define, please let me know, and I'll be glad to do it. So until then, thank you for listening, and I appreciate your support. God bless.